99.9% of it is just a house of cards propped up by venture capital money. I'd rather live having failed at something that I tried to do that was a passion than succeed at something that I utterly had disdain for. Money is the root of all evil. No, but it is the root of everything, and it is an amplifier.
What would be your advice for Bitcoiners building a brand in this space?
Well, there's before Bitcoin and there's after Bitcoin, and it's a total game changer. I'm now handing you guys, this next generation, a beautiful future, and it was my honor.
Welcome back to Your Bitcoin Story podcast, where each week we sit down with Bitcoiners to hear how they fell down the Bitcoin rabbit hole, what they've learned along the way, and why they're choosing to build a life around Bitcoin. Today's guest is Phil, better known online as Cold Heart Sats. He's the founder of M Communications, a Bitcoin-only PR agency helping companies in the space craft their messaging, telling their stories, and reaching the right audience without compromising on ethos. Phil brings a unique perspective to the Bitcoin world. He's not only orange-pilled, but also media-pilled. We'll explore how he got into Bitcoin, why he launched a communications agency focused only on Bitcoin companies, and what lessons he's learned from helping Bitcoiner communicate more clearly in a noisy, fiat-saturated media landscape. Let's get into it. Phil, welcome to the show.
Gigi, dude, it's so good to be here. Such a fan of your show and appreciate that stellar introduction.
It's an absolute pleasure. And yeah, definitely, I appreciate your support and following over the, I think even close to a year. It's been a few months, and you've kind of kindly introduced a lot of guests to me. So thank you for all the good stuff you've done to me and the whole space at large. And I'm really looking forward to today's episode.
Likewise, I have to say it's so gratifying to have been a fan of the show for this long, to be following each other and then to see your growth, because there's nothing better than seeing someone that is so passionate and authentic about what they do get the recognition that they deserve. So just to see your trajectory here has just been really, really fun.
Thank you, my man. I really appreciate it, and it's a reassurance that I'm on the right path, that I'm going in the right direction.
That's right.
So, Phil, as you know, with every episode, let's take it back. What is your Bitcoin story? Where does it begin?
It's embarrassing, it's because
it's perfectly fine. You can reveal as much as you want. There's no pressure. There's no lie detector on this show, by the way.
This is a tell-all. It's embarrassing because I first heard about it in 2012. I just moved to Hawaii. And that's how I remember it so distinctly, because it was like the first place that I moved into, and had great roommates. And I had one of my roommates' friends come over. We were just having a few beers and starts talking to us about Bitcoin. And dude, just this, the internet money thing, it's totally permissionless, just saying all the things. And I'm sitting there just nodding my head this guy's crazy. What is he talking about? Totally, because he was a sort of eccentric guy, and totally blew it off, right? Did not, it was like, okay, thanks for the information, and ignored it. And, which I feel like a lot of us kind of do, it's like the first time.
For sure.
It takes multiple times to kind of break down this, force field and actually be considerate of, hey, maybe I'm wrong, or maybe I need to be more curious about this thing, or what is it that's not allowing me to have this enter into, my psyche. Anyway, it took me a while to kind of do that. So 2012 to 5 years later, 2017, at that point I was working at a TV station. I was managing a team at a news station here in Hawaii. And I don't know if you remember, but around that time, Bitcoin was coming into the news a little bit, or well-known figures were talking about it. And the one thing that caught my eye was John McAfee talking about Bitcoin. And he said if Bitcoin doesn't go to 20,000, he was going to go on live TV and cut his junk off on live TV.
I remember that.
You remember that?
Yeah.
True McAfee.
That was before he
Actually,
lost it with a tinfoil hat and going in the tinfoil romp. I remember that vividly because I'm a class
yeah,
of 2017. McAfee was early on in my journey too, so I remember that.
it was like you couldn't miss it. And it wasn't that I was a Bitcoiner or anything at that time. It was just that McAfee was such a larger than life figure. And
Yeah.
it's fun. It's entertainment tuning into what he says. So the thing that got me into it was just this mimetic thing where I was like, okay, it's kind of a meme. McAfee's going to cut his junk off if he doesn't go to 20K. This is sort of a fun bet. And, I'll buy it. And that's sort of like my stake in the game, and we'll see what happens. And so I did that. That was the beginning of my journey. Went through a fair amount of, shit coining after that.
Did you do a bunch of ICOs? Did you get an early fill?
I did not do any ICOs. I did no ICOs. The thing that really got me to be a Bitcoin, we can say Bitcoin maxi or whatever, just a Bitcoiner. I don't even like to say
Bitcoin
maxi.
purist.
Bitcoin
Let's call it purist.
Yeah, I prefer that, Bitcoin purist. It was actually I wanted to find a way to get involved in the industry. And I was like, I got to make sense of this thing. Like, what can I apply from my background that is going to give me a foot in the door? My whole career has been in media in various capacities. So I wanted to do something media related. So I got involved with, in communications, which was an opportunity for me to work for like a larger agency that did tech and crypto stuff, and very quickly realized that all of the crypto industry, 99.9% of it, is just a house of cards built on, vaporware promises propped up by venture capital money. And all they want to do is get a quick return on their investment. So they're so hyper focused on what happens 2 weeks from now. What's the price of the token doing? It's the
highest time preference like possible.
It's the highest high time preference, and had the opportunity to work with a couple Bitcoiners and companies through that agency. And the difference was stark. I mean, just the conviction, the vision, the time preference, everything was like night and day. And around that point, it was like I was a Bitcoin only kind of guy. So it took me a little while.
How many years did it take you?
Well, to go Bitcoin only from the first time I heard it in 2012 to 2020, maybe 2021. 8.5 years.
Yeah. It takes time. Like for me also, like it was 2020, it was the COVID that really changed it. Like it took me 3 solid years where I was kind of working full time. Basically, I was trying to figure out my way, but 3 years it took me to like really separate Bitcoin and the whole shitcoinery. So it's not like this orange pill term, like, oh, you don't just take one orange pill and like suddenly like, wow, like now I see it. Like it takes a lot of, no pun intended, proof of work, like reading, studying, listening to podcasts, listening to YouTube videos, communicating with people, and then like, everybody needs that aha moment.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, 2012 to 2017, I wasn't thinking about it at all. I was just focused on my career and surfing as much as possible and, establishing myself in a new place.
Can't blame you.
Yeah. And then, right. It's like, okay, what better distraction than the ocean?
Yeah, that's true.
And then from 2017 to 2020, 2021, it took me a while to like work in the industry. And in the beginning, you kind of, you entertain the big promises that the crypto companies are selling you for a little bit. You're like, okay, well, lofty promises. Is this going to come to fruition? And if you keep moving the goalpost, you're like, this is completely bullshit. This is never going to work out. It always takes, I think, whether it's COVID pain, or losing money, which you could have just bought Bitcoin, whatever it is, or maybe you're in a far off war situation and the pain is like your bank account closes down, you're in Iran and you go to your bank and they're like, no, we don't have your money because there was a cyber attack. Whatever it is, it's like there's always something that can bring you closer to Bitcoin, but oftentimes it requires a bit of pain.
If you're enjoying the show, it would mean a lot to me if you'd hit subscribe and leave a quick rating or review. It helps more people find these conversations and support the mission. And if you need help getting your Bitcoin off exchanges and into self-custody, or if you're ready to build a robust, bespoke inheritance plan, the Become Unruggable one-on-one consulting program where you will work exclusively with me is exactly what you're looking for. You can find all the ways to reach out to me in the show notes down below. And it's unfortunate as humans, as kind of these comfort creatures, until we experience that pain, and as the saying goes, no pain, no gain. Like there's truth in that. Like you really need to get burnt. Like I mentioned this example, like anecdote from my life. Like when I got my driver's license at 18, I was told by my parents and numerous people, "EG, don't drive fast." And then until I totaled that car, like 6 months later, I didn't learn my lesson. Like I had to like wreck the car fully to be like, maybe I'll stick to the 60-kilometer limit. Like maybe there is some sense in it. So the same thing goes with your financial perspective. Like until you get burnt, and in some countries, as you mentioned, may that be Lebanon, Venezuela, Turkey, like if you're seeing like your bank account shut or like inflation going through the roof and literally like your savings melting away, in that point, you really have no choice. And actually at that point, it's desperate calling. Like probably in those cases, you're looking more at the US dollar than Bitcoin because you have no time to study. It's like, crisis is here. I need to react and get out of it. So actually, like, it's good to start learning, be curious, start testing stuff out before, sorry for my French, shit hits the fan, because the shit is going to hit the fan across everywhere. May that be the US, may that be Europe. Japan is going through a crazy time. We don't even have to talk about that. I mean, like just the whole world, like the whole house of cards, as you mentioned it, like with crypto, with fiat, is going to collapse. When is that going to happen? Nobody knows. Maybe they're going to milk this system for the next 50 years. Maybe it's going to crash in 5 years. Maybe in 5 months. Nobody really knows. But you better be ready for when it comes crashing, because it's not going to be pretty. And thank God, thank you, Satoshi, for giving us the lifeline and this parallel system where we can build on focus and actually store our value and actually preserve it for our future generations.
Beautifully said, Gigi. Yeah, you have to touch the stove, right? And I think that's also why as Bitcoiners, we're so vocal and passionate and trying to orange pill as many people as possible, is because like I think at the heart of it, we care, right? We actually want people to succeed. And sometimes we can be abrasive because sometimes it actually takes that to break down the facade, right? This sort of force field that people hold up. And I'm a Christian, so the way that I think about like in my day-to-day life with like other people, not that I'm evangelizing on the corners or anything, but with my friends and family that aren't Christians, I at least make it a point to tell them about Jesus, right? Or just what it's done for my life. And not to push that on you or your audience or anything like that. But the way I think about that is how much
it's free speech. Everybody can, look into whatever they want. So I respect that.
Right. And so it's like, how much do you have to hate somebody to not evangelize a little bit, right? Because it's coming from a place of love. And it's the same thought process with how much do you have to hate someone to not tell them about Bitcoin? And it's easy to go through so many years of getting shut down, of like orange pilling people, and just kind of, it feels like hitting your head against a wall. But I don't think that we should stop, right? I don't think that we should just give up and say, you know what, I've tried orange pilling people. It just gives me more headaches and it's not worth it. But when you fast forward 10 years from now and you look back on that, I think you're going to be really happy that you kept at it, because at least your conscience is clean, because it's coming from a place of love.
It does. At the end of the day, I think the one of the main missions of us humans is, being loved and sharing that love with the others, going back to the start of humanity was, I think love has lost its place in the modern chaos, like clown world that we live in, where it's all like, just like divide and conquer. It's all like from politics to like your business to whatever it is. Like instead of us like helping out each other and loving each other, we're like fighting over assets and fighting over material things, which at the end of the day, like bring us hardly any happiness. I think it's all like a mental construct. Like if I'm going to have this fancy $50,000 car, I'm going to be so happy. No, you aren't. Like you're always going to want the next one and the next one. And it's just like a never ending race. And that's what I love about Bitcoin, and especially living on a Bitcoin standard. And maybe I'll switch that question to you after I finish this mini rant. With Bitcoin standard, you really change your point of thinking. It's not what people from the outside think. Oh, it's just numbers go up and, you're just this greedy holding everything in one pot to like be richer. No, it's actually being freer, and freer not just in a sense that I have control over my time. It's also freer in the amount of material stuff that I have in my house, because I don't go around buying many things anymore. Like I really buy the things I really need. And I'm kind of teaching that to my kids as well. Maybe they're super early. They're very young, but like I'm starting early with them. I'm like, do you really want this? Like we go to the shop and they're like, Daddy, I want this, I want this, I want this. I'm like, okay, look, you chose 3 things. Choose one that you want the most. And they're like, okay, like, yeah, I'll take this one. And they put them back. And they're like 5 and 3 years old. Like, and it's I think it's important, as we progress forward to really focus and buy things that we really need, not over consumerism. So switching it to you, Phil, do you live on a Bitcoin standard? Or not
I
yet?
try as much as possible. I still get what I get paid as much as I possibly can. I want to get paid in Bitcoin. All my savings are in Bitcoin. There are certain products that
so you're practically there. You're 75% of there.
It's just I pay my taxes in fiat, and I've got a fold card that has fiat on it, and I earn rewards back there. There's these little like hacks and stuff that I use, but yeah, for sure. I mean, in terms of my mentality with things, absolutely. The rule I have is if I want to buy something, then I've got to sell something. And the thing that I'm selling is not going to be Bitcoin. So what else is that going to be in my house or in my life that I can put on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist to get this thing? And that adds enough friction to prevent me from going through with that most times. And if I do go through with it, it's something that maybe I really wanted, right? So I had to let something else go that I valued less so I can save as much as possible in Bitcoin. And I think the thing with not living on a Bitcoin standard is like when you have this, it's like the fiat it's like
easy money, easy come, easy go.
Easy money, easy come, easy go. It's like the well has been poisoned and everyone's drinking from this poisoned well. And then there's a degradation of virtues where we're not thinking about love anymore. We're not thinking about beauty or aesthetics or God or the things that built the civilization, the things that built the West. Those have gone away largely in part because the money is corrupt. And so it forces us to just think about what's next. Okay, like I wish I could slow down, like, put this hat on. I wish I could slow down and get married and start a family and do this, but like I'm just trying to get by. I'm just trying to pay my rent. And I hate that. I feel so bad for the folks that are trapped in that mentality. And Bitcoin is that escape, and we've all been through that moment where, there's before Bitcoin and there's after Bitcoin, and it's total game changer. And it really does. It doesn't, it's not like it made me I want to say like it's made me like a better person, right? Because I think within us, we're always like, we have those qualities, but it sort of like amplifies these qualities.
I was going to say that. Yeah. 100%. It's Bitcoin's an amplifier. Like I also switched my opinion where I was like, the deeper you learn about Bitcoin, like the better person you get. And I had some conversations with some people I highly respect, and they kind of told me, no, if you're a crappy person and you learn more about Bitcoin, you're just going to be a crappier person. It's almost like it shifts you mentally, but it amplifies you. So if you're a good person, you're going to be much better. And if you're a terrible person, you're going to be much worse. But usually the bad people don't have low time preference. It's all about, I just said, this super high time preference. It's like, how can I rip off the next guy and get the bigger house tomorrow, not in 10 years time? So thankfully the ill-minded people, I guess, will be last to join the network, but it's open to everyone. We don't discriminate.
For sure. Yeah, but it's like they say money, that old adage, money is the root of all evil. No, but it is the root of everything, and it is an amplifier. So if you're a bad person, the more money you get is going to make you a worse person. Right? You're not going to do good things with that money. Or live
that's in the fiat world.
That's in the fiat world. Yeah. If your wealth is going up in Bitcoin terms, if you're a good person, eventually
you're going to do a lot of good things.
You're going to do a lot of good things, right? Whatever those things that you're passionate about within your community, you're going to help people. So yeah, like it is just an amplifier.
For sure. And what you just said there, Phil, so I'm rocking my Madex pendant, which I got hand delivered in Prague, and actually dude, on the back of it, he's the great. Like there's a lot of great Bitcoin artists, and then there's Madex. Like he's in a league of his own. And on the pendant, I don't know if you'll be able to see. Well, It's small, but I'll read it out. On the back, it says, capital is the root of all good. So
Oh,
it's
I
the
love that.
opposite of,
The root of
you
all
know,
evil.
money is the root of all evil. And then on the other side, on the front side, I've got my atlas. Instead of
Oh, I
holding the
love that.
world, he's holding the Rubik's cube. So he's
That's
mining
so
the
sick.
next block. But yeah, in the sense of building great things, and I had at length some fantastic conversations with Madix in Prague, and he was on the show as well, which I'm sure you listened to, where he said kind of with Bitcoiners getting more wealthy, they will have more abilities to put that money to good use, invest into infrastructure, invest into projects, invest into people, which the money will be used much better than the taxes that you're paying 50, 60% in some countries that you have no idea where that money is going. So yeah, I'm very positive on where we're going with the orange future that we're building.
I love it, man. Yeah, Madix is just to, recap that. I got the opportunity to have a few beers with him in Vegas, and I was just so
Nice.
stoked. I mean, I love his
And how
artwork, and
humble is he in real life, right? You would think he's like some rock star, but he's like the sweetest guy.
yeah. Hey, Madix, this one's for you, dude. This is a knickknack. We had a few of these in Vegas.
Nice, nice. He'll appreciate that. He'll appreciate that. So I guess, Phil, I wanted to ask, so with your Bitcoin journey, how did you end up then starting 21M Communications? I guess that's with the background that you had in media. But yeah, like how did that idea come to you, or did someone plant that seed in your mind? How did that go?
No, it was just it came about naturally. Being a Bitcoiner, working at an agency that did a lot of shitcoiny stuff, and seeing how so the gap that I filled was that Bitcoiners want to work with other Bitcoiners, right?
Mm.
You want to work with someone that understands Bitcoin, believes in it on a foundational level, that is passionate about it enough to go above and beyond, right? With the crypto and the tech agencies, they just take as much money as they can get from from anyone that they can get it from, whether it's freaking Ripple
Mm.
or any other shitcoin or Cardano or whatever that are oppositional to Bitcoin, right? That are actually attacking Bitcoin. And so you're running a Bitcoin company and you're giving money to this agency that's this other company that you're oppositional to is also giving money to. And so it's like you don't want your hard value getting mixed around in that slush fund, right? So
In the dirt.
I saw a gap, and it was like one for Bitcoiner to help other Bitcoiners get the media attention they deserve
Mm.
and at an intimate level while offering the same services but at a much lower investment level.
Mm.
Because with the crypto agencies, because they have they're working with these crypto companies that have all this VC money, they charge 10K a month.
Ridiculous price. I
10K
know.
a month. And
Yeah.
you're a Bitcoin startup, you can't afford that, right? Like you don't have a token to pawn on people.
Yeah.
So that's just cost prohibitive. And so if you're working, if you do shell that money out, then the engagement doesn't really last for that long. And the people that you're working with don't really understand Bitcoin or really care about it. Or maybe they care about it a little bit, but they're like, yeah, but I've got XRP too. And all this other stuff is really exciting, and Ethereum and all this bullshit. It's just I saw the opportunity to offer a Bitcoin only service at a price level that made sense, that meets where the investment level is with VCs in Bitcoin specifically. And
Sounds a lot like, sorry for interrupting, value for value, right? As it should be.
yeah, yeah, man, yeah, it's basically what it is. And I just can't tell you how gratifying it is to work with such incredible companies with
Mm.
founders that believe in Bitcoin too. And it's so easy, right? It's easy
Yeah.
to wake up in the morning and to go and try and land media coverage for these companies, for these founders, because I care about it. Like it's something that I'm passionate about. So it's like it
There's
doesn't take that,
chemistry. It's not all just dollar bills. Like, how much am I making of, this company?
right?
It's like, how am I helping this guy progress and improve?
How can I go above and beyond, right? How can I
Yeah. Yeah.
even just like connect them with other like Bitcoiners, podcasters in the space? Like, how can I help build a network? Like, just what can I do to go above and beyond? And
Mm.
after doing 21M Communications for a couple years, which I did it, I was doing it at the same time as the agency for 1 year, and then completely started focusing on it a year ago. Um, it's been one of the best blessings of my life to finally take responsibility for my own business, and I'm really grateful.
No, fantastic. And kudos to you, taking the full plunge and taking the responsibility. I don't know if you saw, but I started a Substack, which submerges Stoicism in Bitcoin. And the
Love
second
that.
essay, which I released yesterday was Tuesday. Yeah. So yesterday was on the topic of responsibility. Like everybody wants to be free, but nobody wants to take responsibility. And it takes a lot of courage and willpower to kind of deplug from the easy money fiat system and really focus on your own thing, and especially in the Bitcoin space, which is super niche. So I really praise everyone that like focuses on it full time, and myself having been in it going out to 7 months, like I can truly relate to what you mean, like waking up every morning loving what I'm doing, and it feels liberating that I don't have like my energy, time, and just creativity sucked away by some corporation that has no interest in how I'm doing, how my family's doing, what's my mental well-being, even though they give this bullshit about life balance, but it's
Yeah,
more like
bullshit.
work on Sundays, or you get a pay cut. It's like, come on, man, like a bit of a dictatorship here. But yeah, I'm so happy I left that behind. And anyone listening to this episode right now, like if you're on this verge, should I not? Definitely one piece of advice I would do is, like Phil did and myself, start your side gig while you still have this 9 to 5. And then when you're ready, just pull the plug, just walk away, jump off the cliff, whatever analogy you want to think of it. It will be scary in the start and you're like, am I doing this? And if you have a family as well, like I have 4 mouths to feed, actually 6, because I've got a dog and a cat, so plenty of mouths to feed, but I still took the leap of faith and I don't regret it for anything. There's a time and place for everything, and at some point you got to detach from that cancer, or else you're going to burn out, or who knows what happens. Nothing good will happen. Like what our parents and grandparents had, this whole work 20 years for a company and make your way up the ladder. That ladder is long gone, man. There's no
Doesn't
ladder.
exist.
Now it's a revolving door. It's like, I'll work for this business for 6 months. I'll go to this one for 12 months. Then I'll go for this one 12 months. And that's not a healthy, mental or physical place to be in.
No, it's not. And I mean, as you said, freedom comes with personal responsibility. And I think the more that you put that personal responsibility in your life, then the freer you're going to feel. So while it might feel like a lot of pressure to like run your own business and to be out on your own, if you are if you're someone like Gigi or me, you're gonna realize quickly, like, holy cow, I'm so happy that I did that.
Yeah.
And I realized like how much angst I was living with just kind of showing up and getting that easy paycheck, because I felt this sense of, how to describe it exactly, but I felt this sense of like, you're just copping out, dude. Like you're just showing up here doing the easy thing, making the easy money. And,
Yeah.
you're not taking any chances. So the minute that I started taking the chance, working the 2 jobs, and then things just got to a point where it was inevitable that I had to go out on my own. It felt like a very natural, unforced thing, but you just got to put in the work.
Yeah, no, for sure. And people think that like being free is easy. It's definitely not easy. There's a lot of work. There's actually more work to do than when you were like set with your 9 to 5. But it's beautiful work, and it really resonates with me. The one of the most inspiring quotes my father gave to me, early on in my life, when he told me, like, son, do something that you love in life, because then you won't work a day in your life. And that fully came to realization once I like deplugged from the crappy job, which most people have crappy jobs, which is a shame, because in today's modern age and the year of 2025, time of recording of this episode, you can essentially start any business, sell any product, any service to anyone in the world at any point in time, with literally just like the shittiest laptop, like a $200 laptop, and you don't even need internet. You can go to a cafe and just plug into the Wi-Fi, and that's it. And you can sell it for Bitcoin, where you don't even need a bank account. Like, you don't need to prove nothing to nobody. You can literally be a self-sovereign individual in the year of 2025. Which, by the way, have you read the book Sovereign Individual?
Yes, yeah, of course.
Book was written in, my God, early 90s. So like,
Wild.
30 plus years later, like, I was reading it this last Christmas and I had like goosebumps, because I was like, wow, what these authors envisioned, like, I'm living it today. Like, it's insane. And most people still don't open up to that possibility. They're still like a crappy job and like headhunting and like pitching, sending their CVs and resumes, which anyways, most of them are just made up. And then it's just like this never ending cycle. I'm just shocked that more people don't pull the trigger and don't act on it. But I guess it revolves back to what you mentioned, responsibility. Like people are really afraid to take responsibility because it's like, what if it doesn't go my way?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the most pressure-filled times to live in, where you need to get a paycheck because it's,
Yeah,
the value of your hardworking money is getting deflated
that's
vastly,
true.
very, very quickly. So it puts a lot more pressure on that to compromise and to
Mm,
say, I'm not going to do the thing that I love because I've got this other job and it's paying the bills and I've got a couple kids and I can't really do that. But it sounds like I had similar experience to you with my dad. He was an arborist, and
mm,
I grew up and he would take me around to different properties and arboretums and looking at trees and diagnosing them or doing like walking tours. And he's still doing it to this day, even though he's
wow.
70 years old. He wants to do it until the day he dies because he's just outside all
Mm,
day long doing the thing that he loves to do. And for the first part of my professional career, I didn't really get that. I mean, I tried that in the beginning, and I was as a passionate surfer, I was the editor of this surf magazine for a while, and that was in New Jersey actually. And then I moved to Hawaii, and I was doing surf photography, surf journalism.
was that the reason that you moved to Hawaii for surfing and the photography?
It was an excuse. I came here for grad school.
Nice.
I was like, I'm going to go get my master's, but I'm going to do the surf journalism thing because they say, do what you love. But the thing I found with that actually was like I had a hard time being out in the water and surfing and like not thinking about work,
Mm,
right? Because I realized that actually this thing I needed to be my escape. This needs
mm.
to be like, almost like my cathedral out here in the water. I'm kind of like mixing the two, and there wasn't too much money in it, so it really didn't last for as long as I would have liked it to. But after that, then like getting into sales and media stuff and working for like large TV stations and this whole like corporate kind of thing, like man, it just kills you. It just eats you up,
It
and
eats your soul slowly but
it,
surely.
it is, dude. It eats your soul for sure. And but finally, right? I've kind of come to the point where we backed full circle where my dad said, just do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. And I'm doing that. So I'm so grateful for that.
No, it's beautiful. And once again, man, kudos to you and best of luck. And you're definitely on the right path because, if you dedicate your time, effort, and work to something that you're passionate about, the money will follow. Like most people have the wrong mindset where they're like, especially finishing university and getting out of college, they're like looking at what's like the most what's the best paying job. I'll go for that one, like it's being a broker on on the stock exchange or whatnot. And then that's not the place you want to be in. And most people that really kind of hunt the money never really get the money, and the people that really follow through with the passion, not always, there is exceptions, but 99% of time, if you're dedicated and committed and you continuously roll out your product or service, the money will follow because it comes in naturally. Yeah, I
Isn't that a
can.
beautiful thing, man? That's such a beautiful realization when you get there. And it's easier said than done, but and I've always thought that because I've always
Mm,
heard that, but I
yeah.
never really experienced a lot of that, right? Because I still have that angst. But then once you realize that, you're like, oh, this is what everyone talks about.
Yeah, yeah. And I truly hope that, like all the listeners to this episode at some point in their life will realize that, because it's truly liberating. And at the end of the day, to kind of put this in a wrap, like in the macro of things, our lifetime is so short. Like most people think, oh, like the life is going to be so long. Like it's a bleep in the history of time. Like even if you live up to 100 years, like that's not that long. Some aspect is like, wow, 100 years, but like it goes super fast. So like you really want to be dedicating your time on this planet to something that you love, and especially helping other people, because at the end of the day, if you make yourself super mega rich from the passionate thing that you are, like you have no one really to share that with. So yeah, I guess enjoy your time here, be a better human, be the best human that you can be, and try leave this world a little bit better than when you entered it.
Beautifully said. Yeah, I mean, I can't really say it much better other than when I thought about my future self, when I thought about my 80-year-old self,
Mm,
what like if I didn't go out and take the chance and do 21M communications, that would be the biggest regret of my life, right? The
yeah.
fact that I know I always could have, I could have taken the chances then, and I don't know, I just didn't do it. So I'd rather live having failed at something that I tried to do that was a passion than succeed at something that I utterly had disdain for.
No, 100%. Regret is like the worst thing because there's no cure to it. Like it's done, especially when it's like past. But I want to correct you. It's not failure. People usually think either you win or you lose, but I think it's either you win or you learn. Like if something doesn't work out, it's not a failure. Like you just gotta analyze what went wrong and just pivot and just try something else. Like don't be discouraged. Like I think Michael Jordan had this quote, like I'm gonna butcher it, but I'm gonna say in layman terms. He kind of said like I became the greatest not by being the best, but like failing like thousands
That's
of
right.
times until I became the person that I became. So like you need to fail. Like failure is actually a good thing because if everything is going right in your life, that's a slippery slope because at some point you're gonna fuck up somewhere, and then it's like, oh wow, like now I lost it. But if you're failing and learning, it makes you better. And nobody's perfect. Like everybody has to go wrong somewhere, and actually it improves you. So yeah, like I think failing at something is actually like a blessing in disguise that most people think it's the worst thing that's happening to them.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I fail every day, or I fail multiple
Me
times a
too.
month, right? But it's like getting to those failures fast
Yeah.
and getting through them and like learning from them. Sometimes there's really the only thing that you can learn is just to keep going and be persistent, right? I
Yeah.
mean, if it's closing business or whatever, it's like okay, if it's not ready for a company to work with us, then that's all right. I just hope that they think of me in the future, and I'll continue to stay in touch, and I'm off to the next one, and just keep going. It's nothing personal. So
Yeah.
getting to those no's, getting to those like miniature failures is, I mean, something that everyone should be doing. And like Michael Jordan, you said, "Oh, I took like 1,000, buzzer beater shots in my career. I made like 10." And
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
remember all the 10, they forget the rest, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's so true. And I wanted to add on the failure part one more thing. Yes, expectation. When you were saying, failing every day, one thing that I realized, I really lowered my expectation on everything. Like to be honest, like I hardly expect anything. And if something happens out of something, I get a new mentee or I get a new partnership for the pod or some other business venture on the side comes through, fantastic, like happy days. But if it doesn't, nothing really changed. Like I have no expectations. And I think that's like a huge shift where most people have huge expectations, especially in business and being solopreneurs. It's like you pitch this to a company and then the client, it's like, like why? Like I really needed this deal. And it's like, no, man, like if you have zero expectation, you also don't come across as desperate, which people can sense when someone's desperate and usually it doesn't go the most positive way. So
It's
one
so
tip
true.
I would leave for the listeners is lower your expectation. Like the lower your expectation, the better the outcome. That being said, don't be just like laissez-faire, like, who cares about life? But like,
Whatever. I don't know. You want to
no,
work or not? I don't know.
who
Whatever.
cares? Like, I don't eat food. I'll go on a fasting diet for a month. Like who cares? No, there's some limitations to it, but like that's one piece of advice that I got told, and I implemented it the last few years of my life, and it's helped me tremendously, lowering down expectations. And surprisingly, results are much greater when you have much lower expectations. So that's one kind of personal experience that I don't think I mentioned it yet on the podcast, but now when you were saying, Phil, it kind of came to my mind, and I said, well, let me
Yeah.
broadcast it out to the world.
It's the art of living for sure. It's the art of living a good life.
Yeah.
These are all really strong virtues to go after in life.
No, for sure. Talking about virtues, have you, since I know you love reading and I see you've got a nice bookshelf behind you, have you read Svetsky's new book, the Bitcoin Bushido?
I have the Bushido of Bitcoin. I have not read it.
There's my dyslexia. I've been doxxed.
No, dude, it's I could be wrong actually, but I should. I try and make it a point to order like every Bitcoin book that gets
There's
published.
plenty now.
There's plenty now, so it's getting harder and harder. I got to a point where But you know, Bitcoin came out,
That shelf is not going to last till 2026.
and I've got storage bins of books, but I've got some good books back here, like George Kaludis, who previously like worked at CoinDesk. He was like the Bitcoin guy at CoinDesk.
Yeah.
You know, like Bitcoin Mag, or maybe he actually wrote a book that has nothing to do with Bitcoin, but it's called what is it, Sawdust? Let's see.
Sawdust. I haven't heard that one before.
On sawdust and broken glass. And so it's really cool because even if you're a Bitcoiner and you're pursuing this other passion in your life that has nothing to do with Bitcoin, it's just fun to support that. And I don't know, it's like we just need to. And it's like people say there's too many Bitcoin podcasts. There's too many people talking about Bitcoin. I
disagree. We need more.
Too many Bitcoin books. I'm like, no, we need more. And we need other Bitcoiners to support that and stop being such, so like too cool for school and saying, oh, this is too much. It's like, no, it's really not. Like, this is very niche, it's a tight community, so it feels pretty loud, but we've got to make it a point to support each other.
And, on the topic of that, like too many books, too many podcasts, too many YouTube channels on Bitcoin, they, in a sense, they all kind of focus on different demographics. And some people might prefer someone else where the popular guy they would never listen to, and, they just skip over it. And then some other guy they actually really connect with. So I think, we have a long way to go until we're oversaturated in the space. And I think at some point, Bitcoin will. So going back to Svetsky, actually, when I had him on the show about, it was over a year ago now, he mentioned that, in the future, he doesn't see people like himself and myself recording a Bitcoin podcast or writing Bitcoin books. He's like, it's going to be so normal. It's like today doing a conference about the internet or having a podcast about the internet. It's like, hey, tell me your internet story. Like, when did you discover dial-up? Like, how was that for you? Like, it's going to be so normal. This is this kind of golden time where as a content creator in the space, you have like all the freedom to do what you want to do. So go like crazy with it. And there's never going to be too much of it until the point where it's just so normal, where Bitcoin's just in the background, like banking. Nobody knows how banking works yet. Everyone has this little plastic card and they tap away every day and it just works. And same thing is going to happen with Bitcoin. So yeah, I think for now, it's just the more the merrier. And yeah, as you said, the people that are screaming like, no, that's too much. I think they're like too deep in their echo chamber of Bitcoin Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, these are the good old days, right? So act like it. Enjoy it.
And they're not going to last forever.
They're not going to last forever. I know it felt like the good old days were below 10,000 or below 20,000 or 30,000. It's always kind of a moving goalpost. But I mean, the spoiler alert is that wherever you are in life, it's always true that these are the good old days. It doesn't matter.
That's true.
So if you just take that appreciation for the present, even when you're 50 years old, 60, 70, these are the good old days. I'm still above ground, right? I'm 80,
That's
I'm
true.
90 years old, I'm above ground. These are the good old days.
That's true.
So yeah,
that's
just
true.
have fun with it. Enjoy it.
And, as I repeat, like a broken radio, like we are 16 years into this protocol, like not 60 years, like 16. There's so much to go ahead. Like, forget looking at the fiat price. Is it 100K? Is it 150K? Is it $500,000? It's irrelevant. Like, there's so much way to go. And I truly believe, Phil, that Bitcoin's going to be here, not just for like the next 100 years, potentially could be here for 1,000 years, because this is like such a beautiful, impeccable, untamperable system. Unless we get like co-op, then who knows what happens in the future. But I'm the optimistic guy. The glass is half full. I'm hoping the people will win in the end. And like, there's so much to build that in our lifetime, and probably our kids and grandchildren won't see kind of the peak of where Bitcoin takes us. And I think, going back to what you mentioned at the beginning of the show with bringing back beauty, and once again, switching it back to Svetsky, he talks a lot about the concept of beauty, that fiat makes the world ugly. Like, communism is ugly, and like beauty is something that's achieved through abundance and truly like hard money. And if we look back in history, like all these like beautiful architectures in Florence, like in St. Petersburg, I'm looking out of my window right now, like these buildings were built like 200-300 years ago, and they're still standing today, and they're like immaculately done. Like the art, I mean, not the artwork, but like not the plaster, basically the outside facade, like it took so many years. It's beautiful, and it like stands the time of time. Whereas today's modern like architecture, where it's just like blocks on blocks on blocks, and that just starts cracking after 6 months and mold breaks everywhere. It's not just ugly, it's unhealthy. And it's across the spectrum from like the buildings we live in today to, sorry for hitting it, but like the media that we have on TV, it's just like, it's infectious. Like it's just, it's super ugly.
Dude, absolutely. That we've got to find a way to break through the noise. That's what Bitcoin is, right? It's a way to get back to that. And when I think about the future, or I think about the present, like what we've lived through. I mean, when I was younger in America, like the McDonald's, even the McDonald's buildings, they were colorful. They had playpens. They had
I was
like,
gonna say,
it was
they
just
had
like
Ronald McDonald in there. Like,
Ronald
when's the last time you saw him,
McDonald.
right?
It was so fun. It was like,
That's
oh,
true.
it's kitschy, of course. It's definitely
Yeah.
kitschy, but it's like at least whoever built that was like having fun with it. They wanted to have a level of beauty, and that's the way that they viewed it. Now you look at McDonald's and they look like prisons, just
That's
straight
true.
up
They're
prisons.
just gray.
Yeah, yeah, and at one sense of it, it's like unfortunate to live through the degradation of architecture and this like build fast type of thing and break stuff. But on the other end of it, when I think about 30, 40, 50 years from now and the future generations, hopefully when my wife and I have kids, I want to be the one that have lived through this time, to kind of build something great, to build a legacy, to earn in Bitcoin, and to help the future generations, and to be the ones that were sort of on the front lines of the war that we're fighting, which is, a digital war, right?
That's
It's a
true.
war.
That's
It's a
true.
war for money. And I'll be really gratified to live my life, look back at it and say, I'm now handing you guys, this next generation, a beautiful future. And it was my honor. So please continue it with honor and make us proud.
That is it. That hits hard, because you're right. In 20, 30, 40 years time, like when we look back at this time, like I truly believe we're living through the fourth turning. We're like in the crisis part where like things are shattering, and probably this is going to go on for the next few years, 3, 4, 5 years, up to 2020. But I think after that, like slowly this new, I don't want to call it the golden age, but like the prosperous age will actually take hold. Nice. I'll steal that one. Yeah, not the golden age, the orange age. It is going to come through, and we're going to build beautiful things. And the fact that we've lived through it, and not just lived through it, but contributed to it in whatever means we can. And as you said, been on the front lines, not just, sitting in the back row, like watching with a bag of popcorn, but like being on the court, playing the game, is going to be super meaningful. So yeah.
It's on this ship post our way to a revolution.
Yeah, not those guys in the backseat that are just Twitter fingers, just typing away and bashing each other left, right, and
yeah. My wife's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Baby, I'm at war right now. I'm fighting for a future. Actually,
I'm having a duel with Peter Todd. Like, please don't interrupt me here." No, for sure. So yeah, where do I want to take this from here? I love it. Like I had some talking points that I wanted to cover with you, Phil, on this episode, but that just kind of went out the window. And we just went like really like deep on the real meanings of life and values, and I really enjoyed it. So now I'm kind of like trying to figure out, do I pull anything up or I don't? I guess I'll bring up one thing that I wanted to ask, and actually I think the listeners will find it useful. What would be your advice for Bitcoiners building a brand in this space?
Well, that's a really good question. When it comes to trying to like separate yourself from the pack, it's kind of hard. Like even with 1M Communications, it's like it's pretty obvious. It's 21M Communications. It's pretty. I wanted to signal, like when I reach out to Bitcoin companies, I wanted to signal that I was Bitcoin only. So I'm just thinking, what is the easiest way that I can catch someone's attention in an email? So when they see 10 comms, they know, okay, that's coming from a Bitcoiner. So for me, it's a little bit different, but I think about who you're trying to reach. Like what is spend time thinking about what your ideal client looks like and what's going to resonate with them, and just build from there. And so for me, it's a little bit different. What's really interesting too is like what my personal account, Cold Hard Sats, where it's just been about shit posting and, probably arguing with people too much in the comments and maybe getting a little bit too
just
political.
being passionate.
just being passionate. And then it's not even my face, right? It's a picture of an author that I love, Murakami. And I was like, fuck it, he's Japanese. I'll put some laser eyes on him and call it a day. But I think just because I've been myself and posting things, I can DM people like you, and I'm a Bitcoiner, right?
Yeah,
Like, that I'm
yeah.
just, I'm just kind of being myself and living
No intro
authentic.
needed. Like it's from the get go. You just see the
It's
name and
from the get go. So, hey, you might not want to be as adversarial as I am on Twitter if you're trying to reach, a certain type of clientele. But I figured I'm going to speak my mind no matter what. And that's going to attract the people that I want to work with anyway. So why not?
that's true. So I guess the advice would be, kind of don't hold back and be straightforward with kind of the messaging you want to get across. Don't be too encrypted
Be
with your
bold,
outreach.
right? Like, especially in the Bitcoin space, like I think being bold, it rewards you, right? Because people
Mm.
want to, like we were talking about, people want to break down this facade of like this corporate type of, bullshit. You want to like, does this company believe in, subverting the state, right?
Probably doesn't.
Do they believe Bitcoin is, actually a Trojan horse and attack on the state? And I think like there's so many of us that are out there that believe that, yeah, it is. And so if you have a brand and you lean into that, then you're going to not just get a good amount of clients, you're going to get loyal clients, right?
Mm.
So for sure.
Which is way more important than getting new clients, because it's much harder to retain clients than,
Yeah,
getting new ones, which is super
that's
important.
right. On the media front, the clients that I work with in terms of like trying to tell their story, one piece of advice I give is like, let's be open-minded and taking an orange pill approach to the media. We know
Mm.
we have the relationships with Bitcoin media and the Bitcoin podcasts. What we really want to do is break into mainstream media, CNBC, Fortune, TechCrunch, and then even the crypto media, CoinDesk, Cointelegraph, Crypto News. There's dozens of them out there, and I think it's easy to say I'm going to stay in my little echo chamber and I'm just going to like tweet my messages out there, and then I'm going to reach the Bitcoiners. But what we need to remember is that there are so many of us that started off being not all in Bitcoin, and we were doing our fair share of shitcoinery. So if your service does align with that person, then trying to talk to them in your messaging, right? Be as convincing as you can. Break into the mainstream media, crypto media, and orange pill the media, and then orange pill the world.
That's true. That's fantastic advice. Essentially focusing on like Bitcoin and crypto media, like people are already in the echo chamber, but like for someone that's trying to get the message out and tap into, leave a mark on the non-orange pilled people, you need to do the outreach in traditional media where most people actually are. Like the people that are reading CoinDesk and as you mentioned, Cointelegraph and Bitcoin Magazine is fairly small compared to the legacy media. So I think that's a very valid approach. So I guess on the 21M communications, what's next for you? Is there any exciting projects or clients that you're particularly excited about working with from what you can
I've got an
share?
exciting website redesign
Whoa.
coming out.
Is that
Everyone's
live or that's coming out?
everyone's going to be talking about it.
Whew.
No, it's not live. It's not live. My wife is a really gifted graphic designer, actually, and she's been
Nice.
wanting to help me with a logo redesign and a website redesign for a while now. So we're getting close, and it's something I'm just personally excited about. As any business owner is about like.
Yeah, no, to me that's the biggest goal. Yeah. No, I love it. I love it.
I think outside of that, I just I'm grateful to work with some amazing clients like Voltage, like
Mm.
Amboss, like Castle, who just had a really great announcement of a raise. Their Castle, what something they're doing is something I feel passionately about is onboarding small and medium businesses to a Bitcoin standard in a way
Mm.
that's like turnkey and easy. So like if you're a restaurant, then you can auto convert any transactions directly to Bitcoin. And you can do it on a percentage basis, 5% of all transactions, whatever it is. And I love that. I'm really excited. They just had that rebrand from Orchestra to Castle, and they just announced that pre-seed raise. And I'm really excited about that because I think that it's really important that not only do we get more retail folks involved, right? But we need
Yeah.
to get the small and medium businesses that are pretty much retail folks that are running businesses. And Bitcoin's not just for Wall Street. And it feels like it's kind of moving in that direction with all the huge Bitcoin treasury companies and all that stuff. But what I love about what Castle's doing is that it is just a return to helping the folks that probably need it most, that don't have access to fancy, accounting tools, or like this, financial engineering that companies like Strategy has, or Nakamoto, or whatever. And it's like a grassroots movement. So I love that Castle's doing that. And a lot of exciting things coming down with, other clients of mine, and just looking forward to working with more Bitcoiners in the space for sure.
I love it, and I think you'll have more clients coming your way because there's more and more grassroots projects getting started. Because now is literally the best time to get involved in Bitcoin, much better than 10 years ago. Because 10 years ago it was still like, is this a gamble? Like, is anything going to happen of it or not? Like when you said in the start of this episode, your embarrassing story where you dismissed in 2012, most people did. Like I even saw it like because with Cyprus, with having the financial crisis. And some people were talking about this, this alternative, form of saving of Bitcoin. I was like, Bitcoin, like, what is Bitcoin? And like, I was in my student years, I had different priorities and I like fully dismissed it. But like now in 2025, it's a done deal. Like there is no, is this going to succeed? We are on the path to ultimate success. We haven't succeeded. There's a big war happening culturally and on the protocol level with developers on the inside and the Wall Street cucks on the outside. And we're like in the middle fighting with two swords. Like there's no shield. There's just like one sword in one hand, one sword in the other hand. But I think ultimately us node runners and the sovereign individuals will decide what code we run. And I think we will win in the end. But yeah, I think it's a very exciting time. And, I'm always really open to helping any startup or any way I can contribute to anyone, like I tell to all guests. But yeah, even to the listeners, if you have some ideas or you want some feedback and stuff, my DMs are always and always will stay open. I'm really, really want to help out everyone, because if we help out each other, we all win. Like it's not an end sum game. Like we really got to support each other. So I love, Phil, what you're doing with 21 Communications. Best of luck with everything. As I just mentioned, if you ever need any help, Gigi's here. More than happy to help. Actually, after the call, off the record, I do have some help for you, so I'll share that. To round it up, before we round it up, was there anything on your mind, Phil, that you wanted to touch upon? Any other tangent or rabbit hole?
Well, we could go in many directions. I'll refrain from most of what's on my mind right now because that's going to take another few hours. But I would just say it's one of the most gratifying parts of what I do at 21M Communications is working with Bitcoin founders, early stage startups. Like I'm a mentor with Pleb Lab, and that's been such a pleasure to work with those early stage companies and just give them advice. Right, they don't even have a budget, but just to giving them direction, just to help out, and eventually, in a year or two or whenever that is, that I'm there to be a partner with them. So if you are an early stage founder or you're established, whatever it is, feel free to reach out. You can DM me, Cold Hard Sats, or Phil at 21mcommunications.com. And I'd love to talk. Yeah, I guess that's it.
Amazing. Well, you kind of, I don't know if I'm sharing my screen, but yeah, I was going to say, like, where do we send our listeners? But you just went with it. You went a full plug. So I guess you know where to reach Phil.
Dude, DG, man, this was such a pleasure. Thanks so much for having me on. I had a really fun time talking with you.
Me too. Thank you for taking the time and the initiation to come on. I really enjoyed it as well. And I'm sure we'll have you back on in the future because, as I always say, our journeys are only beginning. There's a long way to go on this one. So I would love to have you back in the future, see how things are going. And have a chat about some other things that were on the mind that we didn't have time to. But as you know, I try to keep these episodes an hour 15 so that the average people actually listen to it. Because when you send someone a 3-hour pod, they're like, poof, I ain't got time for that. No 3 hours. 1 hour, okay, I'll give it a shot. So we try to keep it short and sweet. But Phil, thanks again for coming on, sharing your story, and for everything that you're doing in the space, helping Bitcoin companies communicate clearly without compromising on principles. It's been great having you on. And for those listening, if you're still keeping your Bitcoin on exchanges, or you're unsure whether your cold storage setup is really secure, I want to invite you to check out my one-on-one mentoring program, Become Unruggable. It's designed to help you take full control of your Bitcoin with confidence, whether you're just getting started or looking to upgrade your setup for long-term peace of mind. You can get in touch with me via the form in the show notes below, or reach out to me directly on X or Nostr. And if you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps spread the signal. Thank you for tuning in. Stay sovereign, and see you on the next one. Peace.
Thank you, Gigi.